What's up guys, it's Taj here with another Last of Us Part 2 informational video. In today's video I actually want to bring forth an article that was actually kind of resurfaced, and it's an article that I think not a lot of people knew about, and it's actually the co-lead game director. His name is Richard Cambieri, and he actually did an article with a company called VG247. So I've actually never heard of these guys, and in this article he actually goes over some pretty cool information that actually confirms some of the questions you guys have been asking me about the gameplay that we'll be having in The Last of Us Part 2. So before we get into this video, if you guys could leave this a like, let's smash it into 200 likes, as well as subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. And yeah, let's get right into this news. So before we dive into the article itself, I actually want to bring back to attention how I said that Ellie will play very different in this game. She's more evasive and she's very agile. She looks like she's faster, more limber, as well as like you can like dodge like arrows and weapon attacks and all that. I actually had a video on this back in the past before I really had very many subs. I was like under 100 subs when I made this video, but I have talked about that. Also, I've talked about whenever I brought up like the animations with Anthony Newman. So yeah, we all know that Ellie's going to play very much different, and she's going to be, you know, a lot more evasive and quicker and, you know, slumbersome. Not like Joel, where he's like a thick brute. He's very hefty and like, you know, punches through shit. So yeah, so I want to bring that back to attention that I actually talked about that. And one of the very many questions I've been getting is like, how would the evasive moves work? Like, would it be automatic, or would it be like button prompt, or would we activate it and things like that? So I could give back some proof behind how this will actually work. So I'm actually going to pull this article out from VG247 that actually spoke with the co-lead game designer of The Last of Us Part 2, and this is what he had to say. So in the article they start off by saying, if you watched the recent trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, you may have noticed Ellie was a little more agile than she was in the first game. That's because Ellie has some new movement abilities you can take advantage of. The first of these is the ability to dodge incoming attacks with the timed button press. So then this is where he has, in quotes, we have a button dedicated to dodge, which was shown off in the 2 versus 1 in the trailer. An attack comes in and she dodges into the car. Lead game designer Richard Cambieri told me during a recent Q&A. It's a contextual dodge. Contextual melee stuff has always been a big feature in the first game, and now we've incorporated dodge to add a deeper challenge in the melee system. The combat in the first game really got across the impact of each hit, the desperation and the violence of fighting to the survival in this awful world, even if it was mostly a case of just tapping a single button. A dodge should add a bit more skill to close encounters and perhaps a last chance to avoid a deadly clicker bite. It even looks like you can avoid incoming arrows if you're dexterous enough. On top of this, Ellie is more stealthy now. It's not apparent if she's learned to swim between the first game and the sequel, but she knows how to go prone now, so that's something. Well done, Ellie. It's a button, you can do it anywhere, Cambieri explained. There are hiding spaces throughout the level. If you look closely at the trailer, you can also see it's used to approach the group unseen through vegetation that helps hide the player. You can see that in the first game, but going prone gives you even more protection. So yeah, we already knew that the prone was going to be able to let us hide in different places, and we also knew that there was evasive moves by like dodging or whatnot, but now we actually have confirmation that we ourselves will be doing the evading ourselves. Like, we will be pressing a button and Ellie will evade. So I don't know if I think my guess would be probably triangle. So if you press time triangle correctly, you could dodge the arrow. If you time triangle, you could dodge the move. That's how it was in Uncharted, but we haven't been able to dodge it. I think it's cool that we can actually dodge arrows. As I said before, like, that looks really freaking dope. Now the reason why I actually think they let us be able to dodge arrows, if you go back to the gameplay trailer, and you know how she gets hit with an arrow and then it has like an R1 button prompt at the bottom right, which lets you actually pull out the arrow. I think the reason I did that is because whenever you can't heal your character, which is Ellie, you can't heal her until you pull out the arrow. So since I think it'd be kind of annoyance that you have to, like, let's say you're just in the gunfight and then you're getting hit by arrows, and you have to always pull out the arrow to heal first. That probably make it to where you can have a chance to not get hit by the arrow, so you don't have to do a prerequisite of pulling out the arrow then heal. So I feel like it balances the game a bit more, that if we have the chance to dodge the arrow hit, we won't be, you know, punished for taking the arrow hit and then having to go through health drainage and having us have to actually pull out the arrow then heal right after. That would make the game very hard if we just kept to keep pacing down because we're weak and we can't heal up until we have to keep pulling it out. Find the time to pull out this arrow, which takes probably about like 3 seconds of an animation, and then we heal after. So I think the fact that they added to where we can actually evade the arrow, so we can actually avoid having to always find a reason or find a spot to, like, you know, pull out the arrow and then heal up so we can get back in the fight, makes it very balanced and very great. And I think that's just a nice touch that, you know, they have pros and cons to this stuff. So even though they have like a cause, you know what I'm saying, there's a cause for this, they have an effect for it, and they also have a way that you could, you know, counter the cause and effect, which is, that is freaking dope. I feel like for every situation that can actually hurt the player, there should be some type of counter that could bring you forward and make you triumph, you know what I'm saying? As well as them adding verticality to the game to where you can like go prone and hide and different such, and like increasing the stealth gameplay factor. That just improves upon the first game completely, because I mean the stealth in the first game was actually really good. I enjoyed it, but if they're like making it towards like a bit more complicated and a bit more intricate, as my boy Anthony Newman would say, that would make the game like more fun to play. It'd give it better replayability, because it'd have the gameplay have more like chances for more things to happen. I just think that's really dope. I think it's really cool. So this article, even though it's like super old and I've never seen it, I'm glad I actually came across it today. It's actually some cool stuff in there. So appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully you guys could find something out of this. Hopefully maybe you guys didn't know about this either and I actually brought it to light for you guys. But I really appreciate if you guys could leave this video a like. Again, let's try to go for 200 likes today, as well as subscribe to the channel. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow with another banger.